All right, let's watch this one. This has to stop by Asmongold. What?
Trump calls on Disney and ABC to fire Jimmy Kimmel. Oh my God.
Shit.
So I'm going to be honest. I hate Jimmy Kimmel. I think he is the biggest, like, I can't say the word that I think he is, which means that you guys all know what it is. I hate him. I think he is the most insufferable, obnoxious person. Like, and the reason why I really hate Jimmy Kimmel is the two-facedness of him, right? Like, I respect people, like, in a way, I respect people like Joy Reid more than Jimmy Kimmel, because Joy Reid is just a dumb, retarded, racist bitch. That's all she is.
Yeah.
And she never pretends like she's not. She never tries to act like anything else. That's what she is. And that's fine. But the problem, what I really fucking hate is the fact that Jimmy Kimmel goes out there and goes on political monologues nonstop, but then says, oh, but I'm just a comedian. Oh, you can't go after me. I'm just a little old comedian. Well, then what are you...
Dude, Asmongold is getting so much better at these, like, to be honest. This is so funny, man.
Well,
Holy
then why
crap.
is nobody laughing? Why do you need a laugh track? Like, you go to a comedy club, there's no laugh tracks there. And so anyway, he's pretending like he's not flagged for PvP. He is. He's flagged for PvP. He's doing this. And look at this here. Jimmy Kimmel crying about ice in Minnesota. Jimmy Kimmel making jokes about Melania being a widow.
Yeah,
so
true.
What's the difference here? It's like you're laughing about this. You're making jokes about this. And simultaneously you're crying about people that got killed. This is so fucking annoying.
Yep.
And no, I think this is ridiculous. Fucking trash bag is. I mean, saying that somebody looks like an expecting widow is a very, like, there's no, like,
especially like for a person where her husband literally almost got assassinated. Right. Like, that's like, first off, that's a crazy thing even without that. Like, even on its own, without the assassination attempts, like, that's already, like, kind of over the line. It's not really, like, what's the point of the joke? Right? And then, oh, he said he said it before the attempt? Wait, before the first one? Before the first attempt? I thought this was recent. Is it not? But then he said it after the thing, though, right? With, after Butler, though, right? 2 days before the dinner. Okay, well, what I'm saying still applies. In that you're saying that to a person who had to go through her husband almost getting assassinated, right? So it's kind of like, what is the point of it? Like, it's not even that funny, right? Like, it's purely
the punchline
like,
there. It doesn't even make sense.
What Asmon's saying.
So
doesn't
it's just basically more assassination baiting, more baiting of violent rhetoric and violent language. So how is it that you're crying over a person that got shot? Meanwhile, the police officer that shot this person didn't even have an investigation because it was so obvious that they were in the right. Meanwhile, you're trying to, make excuses for and talk about how it's funny that, like, the first lady is going to be expecting widow. It's disgusting.
It is
and
disgusting,
so no, I absolutely
Again,
hate this person.
It's even disgusting, even without the assassination attempt. Even without that, it's a disgusting thing to say to anybody. Like, oh, like, your family member is gonna die. Like, no one would. Like, that's not funny, right? Like, that's not funny to anybody, really. Like, any sort of, like, joking about a family member dying, that's crazy. Like, what is that?
I do. I totally hate this person.
Totally
and
nasty,
I hope Trump puts more pressure on him and it makes things worse for him. I hope the same thing that happened to Colbert happens to him too.
Oh yeah.
And he knows he should be sacked for comments. Like, he should be sacked for comments like that. I mean, I think that Trump should definitely, like, this is always my outlook, right? Is that I think about what would a person like this do to you, and then I just do that to them. Like, that's what I would do. Like, that's my outlook on it, right? Like, I don't think about, like, oh, well, like, what's fair? Like, I'm like, well, what would they do, right? And it's like, okay, well, they like, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel, like, oh my God, right? Where's this is the, let me see.
Hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack, yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo. Rest in peace, Wheezy. You're hospital.
So there it is, right? And so this is, and the reason why I don't like Jimmy Kimmel is because, like, I respect his freedom of speech, but I don't respect his political speech under the disguise of a comedy show. I don't like the idea that you have used your show as a vehicle to push political ideology, but then whenever you get pushback for that political ideology, now you act like, well, I'm just a comedian. I think that it's totally fine for him to say this. I don't have a problem with him saying this. Like, I mean, legally, right? I think he's a piece of shit and he's totally wrong. But, like, I don't have a problem, like, you know, like, ethically with him saying this, right?
He shouldn't get,
but
like...
the problem is that you go
put in jail
on,
for
and
it or
it's,
whatever.
Colbert is the same way, is that they go on and they make political statements and they have a very, very one-dimensional political bias that they exercise. And then the moment that they get any pushback for that political bias, now somehow this is a big, you know, now it's a victim parade. Now that comedians like him don't aim for laughs, but for clapping and approval. I like that. I think that's a really good analysis. Yeah, they're not looking for laughs. They're looking for claps and approval. Or like cheers.
Yeah.
He's on public broadcasting airwaves.
Really
that's
comedy.
a problem. I don't really care about that. I mean, like, I just don't, right? I mean, you can now, obviously, like, you should use every method possible to attack your enemies. It doesn't matter whether it's hypocritical. It doesn't matter whether it's unfair. You should always attack your enemies in every way that you can. Now, so I'm not trying to, like, you know, tone police you. But what I'm saying is that, like, you're asking me my opinion on it. I don't really care about that. Like, it's not, like, that's just really what it comes down to me. Him talking about politics like Billie Eilish land talk, they shouldn't be talking about the topic. Well, Billie Eilish, the thing is that, I mean, she doesn't really do politics a lot. She's made, like, what, 4 political comments her entire life? Who cares? So it's like, I don't really care about that as much as, you know, a guy like Jimmy Kimmel that does this as a career for, like, you know, 15 years. Like, I mean, who cares? Some pop star has a libtarded opinion. Oh my God, it must be a day that ends with Y. Like, I don't really give a shit. And so, who the fuck even watches cable anymore? I don't know who watches this guy at all. I really don't. And so, anyway, he's been getting a lot of pushback for this. And so, let me listen to a few more of these.
Much of the manifesto of the would-be assassin is indistinguishable from the words that we hear daily from so many.
Yeah, that's where he got it from.
For example, as the First Lady of the United States pointed out this morning, just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow.
Yeah.
Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband?
It's sick.
It's
It's
nasty.
totally sick. And the thing is that everybody knows this. We all know this. But the people that support it play this gaslighting game as if they don't. It's so obvious what you're doing. Everybody know. We all know this. It's terrible to say. It's ghoulish to say. And here's the reality too: is that if you had right-wing people utilizing the same language, do you think Jimmy Kimmel would be going up there, and especially, like, theoretically, like, let's say a Democratic politician has an attempt on their life, you know, like, heaven forbid, but let's assume this happens, and there's some right-wing person that, like, 3 days ago said, oh, we need to pop this guy off, or, you know, like, I wonder what his family's going to be like whenever they find out that dead. And everybody would be playing that clip. All of the same people that are playing and saying that it's freedom of speech and comedy, they would be out of their fucking mind trying to get this person deplatformed, screaming from every rooftop they possibly can. So the entire idea that this is freedom of speech or anything else,
they don't really believe in it.
This is purely politics. It is 100% politics. And right now, there are enough people that are naive and stupid enough to think that these people genuinely care about the Constitution. Meanwhile, we just saw a video of them saying that, yes, let's systematically kill unvaccinated people indirectly by not giving them hospital admission. That's no problem for them to say, but at the same time, you can't go and say something like this. It's crazy. And so Jimmy needs to support it. Exactly. So what do Republicans say about Melissa Hortman? I don't know what Republicans said about it, but, like, let me look at what I said. Asmongold, Minnesota. How do you spell Minnesota? How do you spell Minnesota? I just can't spell. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I literally, like, it's like a fucking mental disorder.
Isn't it like
I just can't spell. Minnesota
Minnesota?
assassination. Okay. And anyway, so can I find this here? Killer of Minnesota lawmakers found. They assassinated a lawmaker. So these right here, these are two videos that I made, I guess probably 1 or 2 days apart from each other, talking about the person that did the killing. So I didn't say that it was good, but I just don't. No, I don't know why. Like, I can remember numbers, but for some reason I just can't remember the ordering of letters. Like, I like spelling naive. Like, I've tried to remember how to spell naive, and I just can't do it. Like, I don't know why. Like, I really don't. I mean, yeah, it's very, very odd. And it's weird because usually, like, I have no problem being able to do things like that, but I can't do it. Like, because I was saying this word, I was typing this word to somebody out of practice. Well, no, I type it regularly to people, honestly. Like, it's one of my favorite words, and I still say it wrong every single time. It's just there's something wrong with my head there. I don't understand it. But anyway, I immediately called that out. I mean, the assassination of those two Minnesota lawmakers and also the husband, I think, as well, was disgusting.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
This person was a sick freak, and I think they should execute him. That's what I think, right?
Yeah.
And there's literally there's no fine print to that. Like, I mean, whether he was a Democrat or, like, I mean, I'm sorry, you show up to somebody's house like this, I don't care what political party you're from the political party of Halloween, okay? Like, you're fucking nuts. So, yeah, I don't care about that. The idea about this period is that it's sick, and nobody should be supporting this at all. Tim Walz won't let that happen. He worked for Walz, literally. Yeah, he worked for Walz. His friends said he was a Trump supporter. It's a wash. It is. It's a wash. Who knows what happened? Who knows why he did this?
The point that Asmon is making is it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's like no matter what side the person is on, you should be against it. It's freaking obvious. Like any civilized person would know that.
He had flyers in his car that were kind of schizo. It's very hard to say. The point is that you have people like Jimmy Kimmel that openly espouse assassination rhetoric on broadcast television. They do this plainly. Like, they say, like, there's no implication here. It's just obvious.
And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that. This kind of rhetoric about the president, the First Lady, and his supporters is completely deranged, and it's unbelievable that the American people are consuming it night after night after night. As president...
This is on purpose, man. This is on purpose.
Then do something about it. Then create a new rule.
Fucking exactly. Thank you, Asman. Yeah, fucking do something.
We'll do something to shut down public broadcast television that's advocating for violence or murder.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, put some lawsuit against ABC or whoever is running the show. Like, do something about it to make, like, how'd you get rid of Colbert, right? I mean, just do that too. So I don't know what this is. We need padded rooms for these people? Yes, definitely. And so why isn't the FBI at his door? Yeah, exactly. Like, why isn't this happening? And so, like, this is the problem that I have. I'd love to get your opinion. Well, how do you highlight the difference between her expecting shots fired to Jimmy Kimmel's joke? I know there's a difference. I want to get your input. Well, I mean, like, so what do you think? If you know there's a difference, then why would you even say it, right? I mean, like, why would you create this dichotomy or this comparison if you know that there's an obvious difference? Like, why would you even do that? Like, I mean, I don't like engaging with devil's advocates. I don't like doing that. I think it's a waste of my time. Like, if we're all on the same page with this, then I don't think we need to waste time, retracing, and retreading ground that everybody's already walked on. We know what's going on with this, right? And so, legit, I feel that.
Very
yeah,
obvious
that's not assuming to type that. No, there's a lot of people that do that. It's just that I have a, and I'm not mad at you for saying that. I'm not trying to be like a dick or anything. It's just that, like, I have a lot of people that do that, and it's just, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, but I'm not, I'm not offended, right? That's just my opinion.
President Trump said on Saturday night at this podium, we as Americans must recommit ourselves to resolving our differences peacefully and uniting around the shared values that make our country great. The deranged lies and smears against the president, his family, his supporters have led crazy people to believe crazy things, and they are inspired to commit violence because of those words. It has to stop.
Yeah, I mean, there's been an intentional and deliberate effort in order to turn up the temperature of rhetoric by everybody. I think Trump does this. I think Democrats do this. I think that the worst angle of this is the Democrat supporters that are going out there and, you know, chanting and saying crazy stuff, and then the Democratic lawmakers.
What happens here is one side will ratchet it up so far that the other side has to do it in response, and that's basically what happens. It just keeps happening. It's like keeps bouncing back and forth, getting worse and worse.
And the representatives don't spend enough time rebuking them. Like, anytime that, for example, a Republican or somebody like that is you know, like they're like caught being racist, or, you know, like something like this, they're immediately, you expect every Republican to come out and say that, well, this person is like this is a bad person, and immediately call them out. Like, for example, like I don't know, I have no idea. Like, I don't think anybody was saying this was some kind of like a cover up, or, you know, some sort of a setup job, or anything like that. But the problem is that now you have people that do that in order to deliberately, you know, make it less important. Trump is an incendiary counterweight that to the left's 10 years of reign of insanity. Well, I think that the real way to handle it is just simply to enforce laws. What would a reasonable law against this behavior be that doesn't backfire in the future by corrupt usage? So everything can, like, so being worried about corrupt usage of something is, in my opinion, it's a logical fallacy, because corrupt usage implies that it's not being used by a person that is in good faith in the first place. So why would you expect a person who's acting in bad faith to need a law to do that? A bad faith actor, whatever they want, regardless of what the laws are, they'll twist whatever they want to make whatever conclusion they need to. So the idea that you need to write things and do things in a way to prevent a bad actor in the future from taking advantage of them, it's just impossible to do that. It is, because, and the reason why is because those people that would do that in the future will not care about what the law says. They'll just simply apply whatever their viewpoint is, period. I think that you can look at the, you know, the COVID tyranny as a great example of that. You needed no precedent for this. All you need is the opportunity. So anyway, going back to what your question was, how do you actually make a law? I think that anybody that's advocating for, well, actually, we don't need to make a law. What am I talking about? We don't need to make a law. We already have them. There are already dozens of laws on the books about, you know, like advocating for violence, you know, like trying to solicit, you know, like any sort, like domestic terrorism, etc. So we don't need to invent new laws. All we need to do is apply the existing ones. So that's what I think that we should do. It seems very obvious. And punishment is the deterrent. Exactly. It's important to have somebody to hold someone responsible against. Vague laws make it harder to hold bad actors against. Well, we already have the laws, right? Like, I don't think that we need any new laws. Like, that's really the answer, is that all we need are the existing laws, things for, you know, inciting, like, let me just, like, list of inciting laws, of laws against inciting violence against a group of people, actually against someone in the U.S. So, I mean, like, yeah, let's just go ahead and we'll go through this. Yes. Solicitation to commit a crime of violence, Anti-Riot Act, insurrection or rebellion, threat statutes, hate crime and civil rights statutes, incitement to riot or violence, terroristic threats, hate crime enhancements, hate crimes. So hate crimes are, it's like
it's a bonus, basically.
It's like a damage multiplier, right?
Yep.
So like a hate crime is not a crime in itself, But if you do something and you
enhancement
did
on
it
a
because
crime.
of a racial reason, it's like
Increases
a
the penalties,
multiplier,
yeah.
right? So it's like added cold damage, or like an added. It's like basically it's a
He's speaking my
critical strike.
language. He's speaking my language. I love
but if
it.
you don't get a hit, you can't get a crit either. What is this?
The left is not the only people doing this, and the right
That's crazy. That's not the only people doing this. Okay.
does it just as much online.
You can understand.
They don't. It's just obviously not true. I mean, like every polling and statistics says that's not true.
Why we're on edge as conservatives, though. 3 times the president, Steve Scalise, Brett Kavanaugh, Charlie Kirk. Heck, there was even a plot against Russ Vought the other day, who's the head of the Office of Management and Budget. I mean, conservatives are, I think, rightfully on edge because this keeps happening over and over and over again, and people keep calling Donald Trump a Nazi, and they keep calling him a fascist, and they keep repeating lies about him that are not true, yet they keep getting repeated regarding Epstein and other things. Well, I'm just telling you, as a conservative who lives in this every day, my friend was murdered last year. My president's had 3 assassination attempts. I have a knot in my stomach about it every day that I wake up.
I want to hear what Scott Jennings thinks about designating some of these groups as terrorist organizations and then weaponizing the National Guard and the military against them directly. Because if you're not willing to do that, you're not willing to solve this problem. I want to know what he thinks about taking all of these violent protesters, these rioters, and just simply arresting and hog-tying all of them and putting them inside of basically containment camps and federal containment camps, and then ignoring any state orders to let them out. Because unless you're willing to do that, you don't want to solve this problem. Yeah, send them to Guantanamo Bay. Black bag them. Like they always talk about black bagging. I mean, shit. Might as well do it. That's the way I see it. Politicians. So unless you're willing to go to that level, you can't dial these people down. There's no language they understand other than violence and force. That's it. That's all it can be. Yeah, exactly. You want to be a victim? Yeah, that's what I always say. You want to be a victim? Great. Let's make you earn it. That's how I see it. I agree with most of the narrative coming out the GOP. I don't understand how lacking the security was. Did you get a chance to read the manifesto? The bro literally called out how easy it was to set up this plan. It doesn't matter because the guy didn't even get into the room with Trump. Like, there were obviously 2 different layers of security. He got through the first layer, and we're supposed to imagine it's secret. Like, how many assassination attempts do you think has had on Trump that we don't even know about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no, very clearly, like, yeah, he failed. He didn't even get in the room. So I think people
and
are...
the thing is, they're not going to talk about it. Like, if they do foil certain, like, any sort of assassination information that isn't public by its nature, they're not going to talk about it because they don't want to tell people like where they have security. They don't want to talk about the nature of their security. Basically, they want to keep it a secret for obvious reasons.
Vastly overestimating this entirely. They accuse Trump of the things they themselves want to do. Yes, of course. Maybe he couldn't even detect the cameras. Maybe you're right. I have no idea. So anyway, that's what my question is to Scott Jennings, right? Is like, unless you're willing to actually go Old Testament on these people, then you will continue to have this culture of political violence. That's literally it. And let's see here. Does anyone else not care about White House correspondence shooting at all? I don't care. I don't care about the shooting, but honestly, like it's the shooting isn't what matters. It's the reaction to it. It's the culture around it. Like, even the thing itself happening isn't the big thing. It's the culture. It's like Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk being killed. Like, political activists get killed pretty regularly, right? I mean, Martin Luther King was killed. Fucking Malcolm X was killed. Charlie Kirk was killed. You have Abraham Lincoln was killed. Like, there's tons of people that get assassinated regularly. It happens. Like, Shinzo Abe was killed. Like, it's not uncommon or unthinkable that could happen. The problem is the reaction to it. JFK, yep, there's another one, right? Charlie was a podcaster. Yeah, he was a podcaster, and he got killed. I'm confused. Like, are you trying to... So are you like so do you think that, like, what do you mean by saying he was a podcaster? What are you trying to say? You got pulled up for this. You did. You got pulled up. William McKinley got assassinated too? I don't know about that. 6'7"? More like 07. Get the fuck out of here, you idiot. And so anyway, no, because you know you're being an idiot. Everybody knows that when you're making a list of people, you're not comparing them. You're not saying that, oh, Charlie Kirk is the same as Abraham Lincoln. Everybody knows that. But you're drawing this distinction as if it's not already under.
The thing is, Asmund is like, it's not already understood. It's like there's oh god, there's so many people. They're just,
in order to like minimize it or to downplay it. That's what you were doing. It was obvious that's what you were doing, and then you're dishonest about it because you know you can't defend what you're saying. You're just being an idiot. So anyway, and that's what I think. So tired of brainwashed idiots like that, dude. They're not brainwashed. They're just stupid. That's the reason why. It's a little bit different. But anyway,
how's it
that
going,
was funny.
Firma?
Shouldn't have banned them. I don't know. I thought it was funny to ban them. So, I mean, like, really, it seems like it's about the same. I don't like people that are dishonest. I don't like people that are dishonest and annoying. And it's annoying. And, oh, this is the guy they charged. This is it.
Reading this from our colleague in the courtroom, Jake Gibson, Cole Allen is facing 3 counts. Count 1, attempt to assassinate the President of the United States.
That's bad.
Up to life in prison. I'm just reading this on my phone in real time. Transporting a firearm across state lines, 10 years and $250,000.
I got a question. How come that's not the death penalty? Like, you would think that would be one of the highest offenses. You know, like you would think that would be.
That's crazy. I didn't know it was that much.
And the third count is discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence, a mandatory minimum of 10 years. So the first is attempt to assassinate the President of the United States.
Totally cooked.
Up to life in prison.
Good.
Then the second two, transporting a firearm across state lines. And number 3, and the final, discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence.
Wow. How about that? Biden's son didn't get 10 years for the same charge. Well, that's the reason why nobody cares about. I think that's the reason why nobody really cared about Trump, committing crimes, is that, I mean, you had Hunter Biden that was playing Grand Theft Auto in real life, and nothing was happening to him. Nothing was happening to him. And how is it that you can have the president's son that has video recordings of him driving like 100-something miles an hour with a hooker in the car and smoking crack without a shirt on, and nothing ever happened to this guy? He's not in jail.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious why. It's because it's the president's son. So how can you respect
Thanks, Chad,
like, what's the word
Thank
for
you.
it? Like a stance on law and order when you have such a blatant hypocrisy there? How can you sound jealous? I mean, look, he had some nice cars, okay?
Thank you.
He did. He had some nice cars. So what a time. Exactly. Our next president, exactly. And they don't want law and order. Yeah, they just want control. And correction prostitute in the trunk. Oh, he had 2 of them? I don't know. And so, yeah. What is this here? And didn't Hunter also leave the country recently, too? I have no idea. And where is this here, if I can find it? And where'd this go? And if you're transporting from state to state, it becomes federal. Well, of course, I think that makes sense. I mean, definitely. The current president's son's insider trading and making billions. Which one's worse? Which one is worse? One of them, like, whether he's insider trading or not, this is not something that is as evident as, for example, somebody driving and smoking crack in a car. Like, everybody knows driving and smoking crack in a car is wrong. Like, there's no trial that needs to happen for that.
Yeah.
It is a blatant and obvious violation of the law. Now, if somebody else is doing something wrong, then obviously they should get in trouble. But what I'm saying is that a idea of insider trading is not as obvious as driving a car with hookers in it while you're smoking crack. One of them is a lot more obvious than the other. And if you try to play that game, all you're doing is making excuses for it. That's it. That's what my point is. And what do you think of all the missing scientists? I think that there's something going on, and I don't think that anybody knows what. I think that's really what it is. I don't even know if they're dead in some cases. I really don't. And let me scroll down. I'll find a few of these and go through them. You might be advertised, welcome back to the party for firing squad. Wow, no. Would you do it if you were him? No, absolutely not. No, 100%. What does it have to do with it, though? They should go after both? They should, of course. Obviously, insider trading should be punished. Like, I mean, yeah, duh. Like, I don't know if that's happening or not. But what I'm saying is that one of them is very evident, and I don't know about insider trading. Insider trading is a complex white-collar crime that has to be investigated by a bunch of about like third-party entities, right? Like, you have to go into this and look into it thoroughly. You can't just be certain that there's something that's insider trading because you've read a news article. Like, it's completely different. Anyway, I thought this was pretty funny. Now, even Israelis have their own version of the Great Replacement. Here we go.
What?
White people are being replaced in Israel. I guess it must be Israel. White people, Israel is built primarily by European Jews who did not believe in it. They're now a tiny minority, used to be a dominant minority. Israel is a rapidly becoming a Muslim-style theocracy for Talmudics, moving away from the West.
Wait, what happened to his microphone? Wait, you're telling me his microphone got... Oh, wait, the music. I know what happened. I know what happened. Copyrighted music, and then they used a remove music filter.
This is driven by a new majority of Israelis, Arab, Jews, and Talmudics. The visionaries of Israel were all Europeans who believed the Jewish state should be European in nature, and we are all Zionist pioneers who built it. Netanyahu is a villain who facilitated the replacement to maintain his political power. He gives some human degenerates like this random person political power in order to appeal to Judeo-jihadist third worldists and keep it up. Israeli democracy is decaying as the government increasingly caters to the ultra-Orthodox who leech... Oh, God, I can't read it all.
It's so much.
God promised in this... Oh, no, uh-oh. Oh, wow. And Israel... So, basically, they're having the... Like, what's their excuse, though? Because, like, our excuse is Israel's doing it to us. So is Israel's excuse, is Israel doing it to itself? Is it America doing it to Israel? Like, what is this, right?
Yeah.
And the animation's fire, though? I guess so. I'm Israeli. I can confirm. I have no idea. Okay, man. Like, I have no interest in, the politics over there as long as it's not bombing Americans, right? And, Israeli leftists crashing out. I guess so. I don't even know what it is. Also, so this same girl, remember this girl yesterday? Political violence on the left is so normalized, it's absolutely insane. They're mad the shooter didn't kill any Republicans. So this girl, let's see here. Let's keep you away from the children, pedo. Go kill yourself as a favor. Everyone's upset you didn't get the shot in the fucking head last night. Now, why did she make this post?
Oh.
That's why.
Oh my God.
That's why.
Oh man.
That's obviously why, and everybody knows it. It is.
Like
because
this is what I still don't understand this. So like, if you're mad about not being attractive, so your solution to that is being even less attractive. Like it's like, well, I'm ugly on the outside. Time to be ugly on the inside as well. Like, what is that? Like, who thinks like that? Time to be, I might as well collect the infinity gauntlet of being ugly. Let me just be ugly at everything I could be possibly. It's
There's
unreal.
a lot of examples of this. There are many such cases. And there is nothing that women hate more than attractive women. Nothing. Every single time. Like, and that is the one thing that you can guarantee. Like, if you want to find the hate in a person's heart, ask a fat woman what she thinks about, like, some pretty girl. Oh my God, lard opinions, yes. And obese opinions, right? And she'd be stealing the wine if she was there? No, she'd probably go for the mashed potatoes. But, maybe she'd just go for all the gravy instead. Who knows? Crabs in a bucket?
The bad part,
yeah, these people are at the bottom of the bucket. They're weighing it down. And so anyway, I did see this. I thought it was kind of funny. I hope you get shot in the head. This is what a normal hog thinks like, right? And again, like, I don't know, maybe she hasn't eaten for like 3 or 4 hours. So, she's hangry. Like, you know how these things happen, right? And she's going hog
She's
wild.
getting that,
I get it.
what's
it's
it called?
what happens.
Ghrelin? She's getting that ghrelin,
Oink
you know?
pinions, yeah, it's a nasty thing to say. Yeah, it's a very weird thing for somebody like this to say. But yeah, 3 to 4 minutes, yeah. Give her a Snickers bar. I
Yeah,
like
low
that.
blood sugar,
and,
exactly.
They're so obnoxious, aren't they? It's wild how the right sat respectful for years while Joe had the wheel. Could you imagine this type of behavior coming from the right at that time? Yeah, I don't think that really happened. I mean, who cares? And I did see also... It's always funny to see my Sicilian father, some random guy from Italy, right? Some guy that grew up on some fucking random island on Italy his entire life. He probably didn't get the internet until like 2018 or something like this. Stop arguing with these fucking idiots. Who cares if they think the shooting was staged? They're the same people who believe men can get pregnant and still can't tell you how many genders there are.
My
Let them go plan their next abortion while they talk about how we need stricter gun laws for children.
Holy shit.
Todd Blanche live. Are they talking about this again? Let me see if it's true.
Shinzo
And if they have some update or something going on. Oh, what is
My
this? It's an
man.
hour ago. It seems like there's not really a lot happening. Maybe there is. Let me go and see. Oh, here we go.
One Secret Service officer was shot in the chest, but was wearing a ballistic vest that worked.
Wait,
This is today.
Wait,
This heroic officer who was hit fired 5 times at Allen, who was not shot,
Wait,
but
you can
fell to the
prove it on-
ground and was promptly arrested. I want to thank everybody who worked tirelessly on Saturday, Sunday, and continuing today. This includes members of the FBI, and Director Patel is going to address that in a minute. It includes members of the Metropolitan Police Department who were immediately on the scene, the chief, the mayor, to make sure that law enforcement was available to do their jobs and had all the tools they needed to do so. And lastly, the United States Attorney's Office here in D.C., our U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro and her team. A prosecutor stayed up all night long, didn't sleep all day yesterday, making sure that we got what we needed from all over the country. It included search warrants in California, search warrants here in D.C., multiple interviews that have been conducted already of witnesses and of family members of the charged individual, and continue to work hard today. This investigation is ongoing. It's not complete. A lot of the information that the media is hearing through leaks or sources, some of it is true.
Seems like it's bullshit.
Some of it is not true.
Okay.
And at the right time, you will hear information from us as appropriate. I'd like to ask our U.S. Attorney, Jeanine Pirro, to say a few words, and then followed by Director Patel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Cole Allen's journey of accountability in the criminal justice system starts today. Todd Blanche just indicated to you the charges. Those charges are only 3 charges that are in the complaint that has been presented in federal district court about an hour ago. There will be additional charges as this investigation continues to unfold.
So there's only
But
those
make
3 I
no
don't think you can
mistake,
get right now.
This was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States.
Seemingly.
With the defendant making clear what his intent was. And that intent was to bring down as many of the high-ranking cabinet officials as he could. This is the kind of situation that we cannot tolerate. And as the Attorney General has just indicated, it could have been so much worse, but for the reality that we had the Secret Service as well as the Metropolitan Police Department and the FBI. Now, the facts make it very clear what this intent was. You may recall that it was on March 2nd that the president indicated that he would be attending this public event at the Hilton. And on April 6th, that's when Cole Allen first made a hotel reservation at the Washington Hilton for 3 nights, the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. It was on April 21st that he traveled all the way from the West Coast.
Goddamn.
From his home near L.A.
It's a long way to drive
He
over
gets to
nothing.
Chicago on
Holy
April
shit.
23rd, and has been indicated he arrives in D.C. on the 24th, and he checks into the hotel at about 3 p.m. He stays overnight. He is very much aware that the president and the first lady entered the ballroom at 8 p.m. And it was at 8:40 that he made a decision to rush the ballroom. And thank goodness, law enforcement, the Secret Service was able to prevent
Wait, you're telling me that that was that guy's entire plan? Like, that was it? That was the whole plan? Was like, I'm just gonna walk in there? What the fuck? What the fuck?
him from getting into that ballroom.
Literally thought he was John Wick.
He was
I
not
know.
injured other than some kind of scrape on his knee. Now, as indicated, these are the weapons that the defendant had on his person. You can see that's a 12-gauge pump-action Mossberg shotgun. It's a .38 semi-automatic. He had at least 3 knives and all kinds of
Why
paraphernalia.
were people saying he had
So
a fucking
any suggestion
Galil?
that he wasn't there to do harm
Because people were saying he had a Galil. Was that just people like memeing about Israel?
is absurd. We will prove when he purchased these guns. They were purchased in California. Why is that relevant? It is relevant because he crossed interstate lines with those firearms.
Shouldn't have done that.
And
Now
those
it's
are the
federal.
firearms that he used on the night of the 25th, or attempted to use.
That's what
at
they
the
said
very
about
least.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Now,
Remember
the
that?
manifesto also makes clear about his expected rules of engagement. You know, you can look at it and read it, and it may seem kind of la, but at the end, make no mistake, he says, I am targeting the administration officials. They are my targets, and I'm prioritizing from the top down, the highest ranking from the lowest. And I will not hesitate to get involved in any kind of encounter with anyone who blocks me from the president. Now, finally, let me say one thing. Within days of the president nominating me to be the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, I was at the scene of a double homicide where one Elias Rodriguez crossed state lines from Chicago with a firearm to commit a felony in the district. He's now indicted for the murder of 2 individuals, Laron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram, here in Washington.
Why is Cash tense up like that?
Not long
I don't
after
know.
that,
Probably
another
FBI director. He's
individual,
probably stressed out.
Ramanullah Lockenwall,
That'd be
crossed
me.
state lines, again with a firearm, with intent to commit
I'd be
a
stressed the
felony
fuck
here
out,
in
too.
Washington. He traveled from the state of Washington. He is now indicted with the murder of Sarah Beckstrom, a National Guardsman, and the attempted murder of National Guard Andrew Wolf. Today, we have Cole Allen, another individual, charged with crossing state lines coming from California with a firearm with the intent to commit a felony here in the district. Let this be a message to anyone who thinks that Washington, D.C. is the place to act out political violence. And if you are willing to do so with a firearm and cross state lines, we will find you, we will track your steps from the inception of your plan, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
They need to do it more.
Washington, D.C. is not the place to travel to commit acts of violence. The Constitution and the laws of the United States permit us to register our views through our voices and our votes. What they don't permit is making your views known through violence, especially violence directed at the President of the United States. This is anti-democratic at its core.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, that's a huge... Yeah, they didn't like the election, so they want to shoot the guy.
I'm still surprised that it's not a death penalty to do that. You
This
think
one
it's
hits a
the
little
highest
differently.
thing that you could do?
We were all there.
Yeah.
Many of you were there. Many of you watching were there as well.
The reason of
president was
immediate
there.
social media
Vice
accounts? I'll
president
talk about
was
that,
there.
but...
The cabinet was there. And what you saw, described by the general and the U.S. attorney, is absolutely true. The president spoke on late Saturday evening with the message of unity and a backing of law enforcement, and we have followed through on that message of unity and the effectuation of law enforcement across this country. This FBI is grateful to the United States Secret Service, the Department of Homeland Security, and our interagency partners, including the Metropolitan Police Department, for swiftly jumping into action. All of us on there put us in a unique position, but all of us also acted uniquely. The Washington field office jumped into action immediately, sending a mobile command center to the scene, along with our evidence response technicians who showed up in speedy fashion to make sure we could collect the evidence that the prosecutors and the department needed to make this announcement today. Also on
Is this
scene,
live? Yeah, it's
you
live.
were told about the brave heroics of the United States Secret
talking about right
Service
now.
and other members of law enforcement. And that should be celebrated by every single American. They did exactly what they were trained to do. They stopped a massive attack from becoming even worse. They stood in the way, they safeguarded America, and they should be nothing but applauded for their bravery and their dedication to their mission and their selfless sacrifice to this country. The FBI, along with standing up mobile command units, evidence tech response team, and Washington SWAT on scene, also established our NC3, our National Crisis Coordination Center, almost immediately. And almost immediately in parallel, we stood up our command center at the
Trained
Washington
security
Field
missed all the
Office
shots
under
fired.
ADIC.
It's
Darren
Oh yeah, that's true. They were all armed with MP7s, weren't they? Like the Secret Service dudes, they all had MP7s.
Different
Cox's
security.
leadership.
That's so sick.
Throughout the evening,
Wasn't
we
Secret
immediately
Service.
began working with our Department of Justice partners to find the evidence necessary to effectuate the legal process necessary and enter into the suspect's room at the Washington Hilton successfully and lawfully and obtain the relevant evidence for exploitation. That was on scene. Back at the headquarters division in the Washington field office, we were coordinating a national scale investigation that literally spanned from coast to coast. As you heard, FBI agents, along with the interagency, were immediately
Dude, would you get
dispatched
MP7? Hell
to
yeah.
the suspect's home in California, where we conducted interviews that provided critical information about this horrific attack. We also dispatched investigators and agents to New London, Connecticut, where we conducted further interviews that provided necessary information that you will find in this criminal complaint, as the United States Attorney has just laid out. While officers were working diligently through the night to conduct those interviews, we were also conducting interviews of witnesses on scene. Those interviews are ongoing.
Could you imagine
As
if
know,
they had
there
Pam
was almost
Bondi doing
2,000
this?
people there. We were
Yeah,
sifting through and
that's the bad thing.
prioritizing who to talk
I
to.
could.
And we will get to each and every one of you with any
Yeah.
bit of relevant information. Again, we ask everybody
Dang,
who has
Pam
any
Bondi
relevant information, like I
getting
did
so
on Saturday
shit
night
on.
with the president, 1-800-CALL-FBI. Any
Uh-huh.
piece of information is information we want to have and must receive. On top of the on-scene response by this FBI, the headquarters response, and the Washington field office response, the FBI flipped on its enterprise-wide response to this critical incident. What does that mean? We dispatched fixed-wing assets across the country so that we could immediately transport evidence that was acquired in California and Connecticut and sent it to our laboratories
Try
in
the
Quantico for analysis.
MP5 first,
We
it'll
collected
change your
the
mind.
shell
We have
casings
one.
on scene, including the firearms and the weapons that the judge talked about. Those were also sent to our Quantico laboratories for immediate analysis.
Should not
America
care if
should
he
be
shot any of
proud
the
that
lefty
this
correspondents.
FBI acted with the
Well,
urgency that
yeah.
was needed for the
A
moment.
lot of those
that
people were
we
just
had to
crazy
answer.
anyway.
The
You like the
president
MP5? It's pretty
rightly
nice.
said that we will act in a unified fashion.
It's really
And
heavy,
because
though,
of President
but
Trump's
it feels
leadership
really
and
good to
backing of the
shoot.
blue. Every single person in law enforcement that I stood with into the late evening hours on Saturday, early evening hours on Sunday, and all day yesterday and today are thrilled to wear the badge and defend this country. Each and every one of them deserves our thanks, and I encourage everyone listening to go out there and shake the hand of a federal agent or police officer and say thank you for doing their job. Thank
Doing
you for
what they need
training
to do, yeah,
endlessly
true.
to make sure they
True.
meet the mission requirements. And for me, as the director of the FBI, I want to thank our headquarters components for working diligently with our prosecutors and make sure that the American public knows it's not just federal agents that do this work. It's our intelligence analysts, our support staff, our laboratories, our fixed-wing assets, our critical incident response groups, our hostage rescue teams. Agents sprung into action, got out of bed, and haven't slept since. These prosecutors haven't slept since, and I promise you they're not going to be sleeping. They are going to give you every piece of evidence. As the journal said, we will make
Why his
public
cash always look like
when
a DNA
appropriate to
light?
protect the
I
integrity
don't
of this
know.
investigation, to make sure that due process is served, and we will meet the highest standards of the Constitution as we always do. And that is
Great.
when we will continue to
Let's
disclose
get some
information.
questions.
I know the public has a yearning for information.
Yeah.
But just remind yourself of how much information you have already received, how transparent this administration has
they've told
been.
people
In
what's
less
going
than
on. That's
48
true.
hours, you know almost every single thing we know.
Yeah.
And what we have not told you yet, we will tell you in short order. So once again, from me as director of the FBI, I want to thank the interagency. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and their director, Mark Wayne Mullen, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General and United States Attorney Pirro, and Ada Cox for springing into action on a night that should have been celebrating free speech. But we will be doing it again shortly, as the president said, and we look forward to seeing you all there.
That's actually really good.
Man, all right.
Honestly, like that's really good of Trump to not cancel it and to like actually try to do it again, just to show them that they can't actually stop it, right?
Pierre.
Two questions, please. Beyond the evidence and what the judge described as the manifesto, what other evidence can you point to that tells us that the president was the primary target of this?
Can I tell you guys something? I'm not gonna lie. I'm very happy with there being a dude doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just tired of it. Like, I'm just tired of women doing this part. You know, oh God, it's about fucking time. You know.
So we're a day
not
and a
really
half
any
into the investigation. As we talked about earlier,
Well, he
we were able to
implied that
get
it was the
multiple
president.
devices from various locations, the hotel room, and also his where he lived in California. We
Are you
have
a woman
started
hater?
that
No, it's just it was women for like the last. How many? The last like a lot, like the last 5 or something were women. I mean, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
process. There's nothing more that would be appropriate to share at this time until we have thoroughly gone through it, which we're doing, and we'll share that information as appropriate in the future. Second question, go ahead.
Beyond the assassination attempts against President Trump, you had someone try to burn down the mansion where the governor lives in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
You had those state lawmakers attacked in Minnesota.
Yep.
You had
attacked. They got killed.
Israeli embassy staff members murdered in the city here. You had the Charlie Kirk.
Like, I like this guy's attitude a lot. You know what I mean? Like this dude, the new guy.
Can you, each of you, describe the current threat environment and what DOJ's stance is about it?
Yeah, what are y'all doing about this?
You just described the current threat environment
Yeah,
pretty
been a bunch of
accurately,
nutballs
which is that the
running
political
wild.
violence and rhetoric has got to stop. And that's something
I mean, it's
President
got to
Trump
stop.
said
What do you
right
mean
after the incident on Saturday
I
night.
basically I like seeing like a dude like handle these fucking Quango reporters. You know, it's great.
The
It's
Attorney
something
General.
that Carolyn Levitt talked about a couple hours ago.
the fucking
It is something that is when you have a president who and many people in this room, if we're going to be honest about it, have done it as well. They're just as guilty as a lot of people on X. When you have reporters, when you have media just being overly critical and calling the president horrible names for no reason and without evidence, without proof, it shouldn't surprise us that this type of rhetoric takes place. If you look at what
Yeah, but you should go after people saying the crazy shit on the
this
internet.
defendant had in his past, we're talking about somebody who is college educated,
Yeah.
who has a job, who is otherwise living his life, and we'll find out more about him as I expect in the coming days and weeks. But he chose to do what he did, and so our threat environment is we are ready. I mean, I'm not going to go through what.
Did you guys notice this guy is Sakuya colors? Did you guys notice that? Dude is a repping Sakuya, obviously.
What Director Patel just talked about with the way we responded, but this was something that we will always be prepared for. And it's sad
Okay,
that it
so
has
they're
to
gonna do
happen, but
nothing.
it's not a
That's
new
great.
thing, unfortunately.
That's reassuring. Nothing's going to happen.
Have you been able
Amazing.
to determine whether the gunman fired shots? If so, how many shots he fired, and who exactly, whose bullet hit the agent?
We're still.
Do
we want to get that
something,
right.
God. I
So
know.
we're still looking at that. It appears, and I don't want to overstate because we are still looking at this, that there were five shots that law enforcement fired. We have all the evidence is being examined very carefully and expeditiously, and we'll know more soon. We do believe that
First Amendment protects labeling people as Nazis. Wait, why are you telling me this? Wait, why did you at me that, Sherman? Just out of curiosity. Why did you at me that? Leftist tactics? Wait, I'm so confused.
as the complaint lays out,
I'm
that the
so
suspect,
confused.
that the defendant fired it out of his shotgun, and we know that happened. But as far as getting into exacting ballistics, I'm not going to do that today because it's still being looked at and finalized.
Yeah, it's not a surprise.
Thank you for taking my question. You personally have called for a construction of this ballroom at the White House.
God.
The president has called
The
for
ballroom.
this as well.
Of course.
Today, the
Let's talk
National
about the
Trust
ballroom
president
again.
put out a statement, says that they're grateful that everybody's okay, but, and I quote, "We are not planning to voluntarily dismiss our lawsuit, which endangers no one, and which respectfully ask the administration to follow the law. Ballroom construction is continuing unabated until June 5th at the earliest because the injunction is on hold." where does the Justice Department go from here? And then I have a follow-up on that.
Well, we filed a motion today asking the court to do what the plaintiffs refused to do. We absolutely believe that there is no better example of why this ballroom is necessary, aside from all the very positive things the ballroom will bring to this country and to Washington, D.C.
Jesus, who
than
cares?
what happened on Saturday night.
Who gives a shit?
You guys, many of you all were there. That's
Yeah.
one of the only places in D.C. that you can hold an event like that due to its size and the
Yeah.
structure of what we need. So we're basically stuck at this point in this
Yeah,
city
fuck the
with
ballroom.
having an event like that at a hotel. So underneath a ton of hotel rooms. And so the fact that we, aside again,
I don't understand this, because if this is true, that's the only place, right? And if they could make one at the White House that is going to be able to be functional in housing a ton of people and be more secure. I mean, we spend money on more stupid shit, so it's like whatever, like fuck it. Like if it's actually going to be more secure, who cares?
aside from the fact
Like, really,
that the
like,
ballroom
who
is
cares?
spectacular,
You know,
it's going to
like,
be beautiful. It's going to make this
who
country
cares? Just-
look great every time
Wow.
it's used. It's also a meaningful safety issue, and so I'm not. I very much wish that the plaintiffs and their counsel.
Yeah.
And it's being funded privately, then like who really cares? I mean, it seems like a good idea. You're telling me you're gonna build an event space. You're gonna build an event space at the White House that's more secure than what they have right now. Great. What the hell's wrong with that?
Take a different view, but if they don't, we are going to continue to fight in court like we have been, and hopefully the judges at the
It's
DC
so useful
Circuit
that
Court will do.
Rana says it's so useful. It's also useful that more than just the current administration, the next president's staff will use it, and the ones after that and after that. Yeah, exactly. It's like, why not do it?
Do the right thing. Beck.
It seems stupid.
Not you, the red.
Thank you. Are you investigating connections that Cole Allen allegedly had to left-wing groups? I think one is called the Wide Awakes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're of course we're investigating that. Now you.
Are you aware
Okay.
of his video game development past, including a potential shooter-style RPG game?
What?
I've seen the news reports
What?
that
There's
talk
no
about that. I think
shooter-style
that
RPG game?
The positive and negatives of this type of case is that.
What?
No, was
is that
he
there's a
making
lot of
one that
people
we don't know
investigating
about?
this man
True.
right now, including the
Wait,
FBI.
was he
but
making
the
another one? No, that game wasn't like a shooter style game. It's like a
only
different ones, maybe.
investigations
The fuck is he
that
talking
truly
about?
matter in
Yeah.
the court of law are the ones that Director Patel and his men and women are doing. So we'll wait for
Yes.
them to do that and get an answer.
It was a science game.
Wait,
Yeah.
It's not even true.
Do you know anything about his alleged Christian past, Christian faith past? Because he said something about it in the manifesto.
I have read reports in the news, and I've read reports that say various things regarding his views
Yeah.
of Christianity, his views in the past of Christianity.
Yeah, I wonder
and
why.
I'm certainly not going to speak
Another
to
nutball.
news reports.
Was he
I will
woke?
wait,
Seemingly.
as I hope all of you would, for the investigation to continue until we actually have answers. Yeah.
I just a little technical question. You mentioned that you guys so far you think that Allen fired at least one shot. That doesn't say
Yeah.
that in the affidavit yet. So I'm just curious if you can explain the discharging of weapon charge at this point.
Were they trying
Well,
to paint
he's
his
charged
actually as
with
Republican views?
Violating
No, not really.
924C, discharge of a firearm during a crime
It's
of
just a
violence.
dumb
So,
question.
by definition, that charge
Nothing too
means that
exciting.
It was discharged. I can tell you from what I know, with the understanding that we're a day and a half in, that this is the gun that he discharged.
Yeah.
And as those of us that have ever shot one of these know, what happens when you shoot that is the casing stays inside the firearm, and then if you reload it, it pops it out.
Oh,
My understanding
like in a
is that it
video
was
game.
inside the
I know that.
firearm, but hadn't been ejected, which means that it hadn't been pulled back again. But again, I want folks to understand, I'm the acting attorney general. I'm not on the ground doing the investigation, so I'm telling you what I've been told, and we'll if that information changes, I'm sure that we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Just want to ask you about this letter that you posted yesterday that's sent from Brett Jimmy to the plaintiffs in that lawsuit. It says that the Washington Hilton is, quote, demonstrably unsafe for the President of the United States. It said that with the ballroom, that Trump will no longer need to venture beyond the safety of the White House perimeter. Just
He never
engaging with
leaves.
those lines, was there an assessment in advance of the dinner that the Hilton was demonstrably unsafe? And if so, why
It's
was
going to be more
President Trump
unsafe than the White
allowed
House.
to attend
Yeah.
it? And then
Oh
separately,
my
just
God.
the idea that by building the ballroom that President Trump wouldn't need to go outside of the confines of the White House. I mean, is that
You
something
can go
that the
more
American
President
people,
Lowell.
should find acceptable, that the president
Just
would-
like me,
Can
for
we
real.
just go to the
for
next
major
one?
events confined to the White
Please.
House? Seems like
Can we just go to the next one?
That is obviously not what he means by that. If you and the fact that
let's go to
that
the
question
next one.
comes with respect to President Trump is
Oh my
laughable
God.
in the extreme. I mean, laughable in the extreme.
Yes.
You have a president who willingly
Can't believe
speaks
this.
with
This
you
is
guys
amazing.
multiple times a day. I would say
Yeah.
7 days a week. He is active all over the country. I think with that,
You think he's never
keeping it
gonna
to the
go
four
golf
corners
again?
of that
Yeah,
statement,
really.
when he says demonstrably, it's demonstrated by what happened on Saturday night.
Uh-huh.
So that doesn't mean that the Secret Service would ever let the president go into an unsafe environment. I know that the director of the Secret Service
he
will,
didn't
will
even
be
get in a
focused
room.
on making sure that we always keep him safe. And by the way, as we said before, and as
Oh my God.
anybody that was in that room knows, we were safe. We were safe. We heard a lot of
It's like they can only answer so many questions, and it's like absolute doofus questions being asked.
noises that at the time many
Some
of us
shit
thought
happened
could be
outside.
guns going off. It was mostly plates falling because of the staff understandably were running. So my reaction to that is I'll leave anything with respect to security up to the great men and women of the Secret Service. But when we talk about having an environment like the ballroom, it's an environment like what you saw last night. So an environment where you have a unique blend of cabinet members, leadership of this country,
Yeah.
leadership of Congress, reporters and members of the public.
I mean, we
coming
should
together
have the
for an event
ballroom.
like
We
that. That's
should, but
different
like,
than
oh
other
my God.
public-facing situations, which I have no doubt President
This
Trump
is
will
such a-
continue to do as he said he would on Saturday night. Yeah.
Jesus, can we talk about something else?
Asmon's fucking brain is like just.
Sure. Gives a fuck.
Any other credible threats at this time related to events in the city, including King Charles, and then separately, the manifesto, I don't really want to give too much weight to this, did mention your name in it as someone that they maybe were not targeting. Do you want
Yeah.
to kind of elaborate on that, and then also the political motivations there?
As to the latter, no. As to the former, the FBI and the interagency is constantly evaluating intelligence provided to us by interagency collection methods. Our partners in the federal and state and local levels, we are constantly relaying that information to the White House, to the Attorney General, to the United States Attorney, specifically here in D.C.
We already
And
watched
we will
it,
always
Kevin.
assess each piece of intelligence and base it on the credibility that it was received and give it the due weight that it has. But as the U.S. Attorney has stated, and as President Trump's task force for Washington, D.C. has shown, we have reduced crime in this city by historic levels, and we will
Yeah.
continue to do so. We will
That's
continue
It was
to
really
safeguard
bad
the
before.
doing it.
The crime in
that
DC
Keep doing it.
Washington,
was
D.C. are
awful.
People bitching about the ballroom. Isn't
just
Trump
a
paying for it
couple more.
himself? I don't even know.
Acting Attorney General, in paragraph 14 of the complaint today, it says that the suspect fell, and you said that he was tackled. I just want to see if we can try to make sure we understand.
Oh my God.
I
Oh
think
my
that
God.
both
Oh
can be
my
true.
God.
And I would rely on the complaint because that was sworn to by an agent and not by the words out of the acting Attorney General, who most certainly was
Did
not
he
there, but I
fall
think
down, or
both
did
can be
he-
true.
Did he
The
trip?
attorney yesterday also mentioned that one of the charges possibly would be for assault on an officer, and I noticed today it's a
Yeah.
different charge. Is this because you've determined that what he shot didn't actually strike the officer?
We're still looking at that, and I think that's
What?
something that you'll hear about in the coming days as we.
I thought
as
Jockster
we
got
know
shot in the
answer to that.
chest.
It doesn't legally matter in that situation, but
Oh my
you know,
God.
when after an event like this happens, not surprisingly, there's initial charges that we consider. Then you have the U.S.
Yeah.
Attorney's team and the FBI looking through the evidence and figuring out what's the best thing to do, and that's what you have, right? Just one more question. Yeah.
I have two quick questions.
We're trying to
One
make it
is-
sound
I
much.
just wanted
Yeah.
to clarify, you said the one officer fired their weapon 5 times.
Mhm.
Was that the only
I think
officer
Leaf hates
who
me.
discharged
No,
the
I don't hate
firearm?
you.
I want to be very careful in answering that question
Yeah.
because this
Who knows?
when you do ballistics evidentiary collection and research, it is very complicated. So when you fire a bullet, the bullet ends up somewhere. Sometimes
Yeah.
you
Thank
find
you,
it,
by the way,
sometimes
C4
you
Kevin,
don't.
for the
And
510.
so,
Thank you.
From that with that qualifier,
Yeah, we already
believe
watched
right
Yuri
now that there
Bezmenov.
was 5 shots fired from the same firearm.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a team of folks looking at this
Yeah.
that are experts, and the evidence.
Yeah, it might seem like it to like the Quangos and stuff like that, but I'm actually not a very hateful person, to be honest.
Collection team that were in that area of the hotel where the shots were fired will work all night. They have the evidence they collected, but it's not an exact science from the standpoint that, for example, the buckshot, when that shot, it scatters everywhere. And sometimes it just disappears, actually, depending on where it hits. So you don't have to. Hopefully, with that qualifier, that's where we are right now.
Question about the timeline, sir.
Hold on.
I just wanted to ask what law enforcement has learned about why he was targeting President Trump. Do you guys believe he was upset about a certain policy or a decision by the president?
The complaint lays out what I think is described as a manifesto, which is something that he allegedly sent to many folks, his family. That's what we have so far as his motivation. As the U.S. Attorney said a few minutes ago, what is clear from the complaint and from what we have so far is he was targeting President Trump. He described that in his manifesto. He was targeting administration officials. He described that. But as far as us understanding additional motivation, that's for the FBI and law enforcement. All right, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wow. Well, that was a total waste of fucking time. That was stupid as hell. That didn't answer anything. That didn't help anybody. God damn. That didn't do a fucking thing.
Oh, freaking Asmon, dude. All right, I'll link you guys the video. I love watching Asmongold, man.